are. We're going to make a miniature or small fairy door from some oil-based clay, which is monster clay. This is the first time I've used monster clay. I've just put this in the microwave for a few minutes, and that softens it up, and apparently you can sculpt it like ordinary clay, plus when it goes back to its original hardness, you can kind of sculpt it like wax as well. So we'll give it a go. Right, so I've looked at a bit of reference material on the internet for fairy doors. Of course, I've done another fairy door made out of recycled items around the house in an earlier video, but I want to make some more and create some more designs and things like that. So I thought it might be an idea to sculpt some from clay. So anyway, so you can see here I've just been kneading out the clay. It's relatively soft. I'm going to lay this down on a board which I've just put a sheet of tin foil over. So now I'm going to roll this out, keep it even with a old jam jar that was hanging around the place. I got a rolling pin, but I don't know what I've done with them. I use all my stuff. Right, so bear in mind I'm going to use this to mould out of concrete or resin, maybe both. I'd like to get some concrete casts from this. Right, so there's our kind of basic door shape. I want to kind of make it look rustic, so doesn't matter if it's a little bit uneven. So first of all, I'm going to carve out some lines which will simulate the planks. Right, so there's that bit done. I'd like to make a kind of circle top of the door, so I'm going to use this tin to give us an idea of a circle. That's in the wrong place, so we'll start again. And I want to bring these lines down a bit here. I want quite a kind of straight edge here. And I just tidy this up a little bit around the edge. Alright, so we've got our basic shape there. So we've got kind of an area around the door too. So it's a bit rough at the moment, but we can work on this. I might move these lines as we go through. I'll just get this plank, wooden plank parts of the door marked in. Now I'm going to build on the outside of the door, the arch. I'm going to build a kind of archway around the sides. I think I might need to roll up a worm of clay and perhaps flatten it down. So just knead that in. So when we put this frame in, we're just going to join the clay together, blend it together. I also want to put some kind of protective roof over the top of the door. Right, so parts of the clay are cooling down now, so it'll make it easier to sculpt with. So we'll start refining some details. Right, so we've roughed in some areas here, and obviously it's a bit rough at the moment, but I've just marked in a few bits and pieces, bricks and the wood, door frame and the sort of roof thing over the top. So I'll let the clay turn into its sort of wax consistency, and I'll continue refining, and it'll turn into more of carving the wax with some tools. So we'll let that cool down for a bit, and then we'll get back onto it. So this project has been pretty much standing around for a year, so it's pretty solid for carving. Since the last clip, I did refine some areas. We put some bricks into the door frame, and I've kind of carved out some cracks in the plaster, so I'm going for that kind of plastered wall look with loads of cracks, revealing some bricks behind that plaster, and I'm sort of going for a wooden looking kind of fantasy wood effect for this arch roof bit above the door. So we'll continue refining with different kind of tools, sculpting tools and just any tools that you can find around the house really. I think I mentioned I carved in some wood grain on the planks of wood that make up the door there, the fairy door. So for the moment we'll just carry on refining the door, and then we'll add a door handle and maybe some other bits and pieces as well, so we'll see how it goes. Right, so we've carved out some of these details, and there's a few sort of globules of clay lying around. So I've got some naphtha in this mustard jar here, and I'm going to go over with a paintbrush and smooth the clay out with this naphtha, which is basically lighter fluid. When you're using this stuff, you want to wear your respirator as well. Keep yourself safe from the fumes. So I'm going to put that on now. Alright, now we've got the main of the door in. I've just heated up some monster clay and we're going to make some strips, and we'll put some fittings on the door now, like hinges and doorknobs and maybe some other items. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to roll out some strips here for the hinges. So you've got a bit of a thin strip of clay here, and we'll carve out some hinges from this piece of clay. Just going to use a knife here. Just going to roll up some little worms of clay and add some decoration to the hinges also. Right, now we'll do the doorknob. I think just do a little circle. Or maybe I'll do some kind of handle. Got a bell here, or something that's representing a bell. I think we'll stick some mushrooms in here as well, just to make it look a bit fairy, fantasy-like. So kind of make those in a similar way as we made the bell. Just make them look like magic mushrooms. I'm thinking that's where all these stories come from, being all magic mushrooms. Right, now I just refine it. I might have to let it cool down a little bit. Just refine these details. Got straw here, which I think will be quite handy for rivets on the hinges. Right, so there's pretty much the refining done, and what I'll do now is just go over with the naphtha to smoothen things out, and we'll see what it looks like. And if it needs any more added touches, then we'll do so. So there we are, there's a fairy door completed, and this is now ready to be moulded, and I will most likely mould this with silicone so I can make both concrete and resin casts from this original sculpture. So I'll do a video on making a mould for this, so I'll get that up as soon as possible. I expect anybody watching this, the video's probably up by now, and I'll stick the link in the description anyhow. So there we are, one fairy door. Thank you for watching, and over and out for now.